Good morning, Year 10. I hope you're keeping yourselves well. It's Mr. Sutton here with your lesson for today. Now, we are going to be looking at specifications today. A key part, as it says at the top here, for Unit 1 is being able to write a successful specification. And that is so crucial, in fact, because it is, as I put on here, it's one of the assessments. In fact, it's a whole level of the 8 is given just to that. So 1/8 of your overall mark is just for specification points. So it is absolutely crucial. Now today what I'm going to ask you to do is kind of work backwards slightly, because you're going to be designing have a specification and then you design something based on that specification. But I want you to do the other way round, so you get used to the idea, and that is I want you to take an object that already exists and then try to work out what the specification was using the standard Access FM ones. Now I've got those over here on the right hand side, so it's aesthetics, what it looks like, the customer, who it's aimed at, the cost. I don't want anything exact, it's $9.99. I want to say, is it low cost, medium cost, high cost? Why is it? Ergonomics, does it fit well? Does it not fit well? I want you to think about that. What did they say it had to do? Safety, size, function, and finally materials. Now, before we go any further, I really need to try to think about a specification and what a specification actually is. Oh, and I'll come on to this one in a minute. I think the best way is actually if I put the birthday cake into here. This is a perfect example of what I mean. So if I go into images and I have a look at, here we go, Manchester United. Now, this is a perfect example of what a specification actually is once it actually loads. Why is it that the Manchester $59.95? Well, there you go, very expensive. You have got loads and loads of different things in here to allow you to customize your cake. Now, this all goes down to these same different bits and pieces of specification, because what you're doing is you give a list of criteria that your cake or the cake needs to have in order for you to be happy. You've got things like, first of all, you've got the date. So at the moment, let me see, if I went for the 20th of April, it's still free of charge, I can think about the sponge type. Oh, right, let me have chocolate. I think would be fantastic. And then maybe different types of fillings that I would like in it. Oh, panata cake, Smarties inside. So you can actually have it like a, pinata, and then you can smash it open. We're going to have that. Ooh, and a bit of Baileys as well. And maybe a bit of coffee flavour. I do like a bit of Baileys and coffee. Perfect. And maybe orange flavoured cream on there as well. You can see the price of this is going up. The size of the cake. So how many people is it going to actually serve? I want an extra large place. £70.50. This is going to be a very expensive cake. And the amount of candles. Now, I think the different types of candles, let me think. I would like white ones on there, please. And white candles times 10. We might have some number candles. Let's see. We'll have it. Say if it was going to be for a 16-year-old and a 16, so we'll have that. And then if we come down a bit further, optional extras. We've got happy birthday. You've got what's that? Greeting cards, gold fountain spray. That sounds really good. But I'll go for the silver one because I've got that. Could personalise your cake as well, so you can put a little message on there, special message. And there we go. So you've got that, and those are a list of things. Now, if I was a Manchester United fan, imagine such a thing, some of you, and this turned out to be, I don't know, Arsenal, or maybe it was Chelsea when it came back and it was all blue and etc. I am not going to be happy with that. Plus, at the same time, if I chose for it to have the chocolate sponge and it actually turns out to have the red velvet, it's not the end of the world, but I'm not going to be happy. Plus the pinata cake, because I want to be able to cut into it and loads of the Smarties to fall out. I want it flavoured with Baileys, coffee and an orange cream. Actually, it does sound very good. I want these candles. I don't want red ones or blue ones. I want these white candles and it's 16-year-old, if it's going to be for a 16-year-old, then that's what it is. That's what I want. Now, this is a list of things that the cake has to have in order to succeed. And this is exactly the same thing, what we actually call these specification points. We tend to split them into this Access FM because that's why it helps us to think about all these different areas. So if we were thinking about it for a cake, well, you've got the aesthetics. It's got to have Manchester United on it. Well, it doesn't have to, but for this case, it does. The customer, well, how many people? How many people are going to have it? And I wanted an extra large cake because I've got 12 people to feed. The cost, well, let's have a look at the cost. £110.95. It's a very expensive cake. But if I was feeding that amount of people and I was really, blimey, I mean, that's nearly £10 a piece. But, and I was feeding 12 people, then I was like, yeah, I'm going to throw caution to the wind. £110 is fine. Personally, for me, I might sort of say, actually, I don't want it any more than 40 quid. That's just me maybe being a bit of a cheapskate. You can carry on down that list, really. Ergonomics. Now, you might say, well, how can ergonomics work with a cake? Well, it's got to be on a tray, as per the image. If you look on there, it's got this tray at the bottom. So it allows me to carry it. There's no much point in me trying to pick it up if it's got nothing like that. So in this sense, that's a really good ergonomic thing on the bottom there. What else have we got? Well, we've also got safety. Well, maybe there is somebody who's got an allergy. I didn't notice on there, I mean, it doesn't have anywhere, which is a bit naughty, that says, is there anybody with allergies? Because it doesn't have that on there at all. I mean, you've got ingredients, maybe sponge filling. Oh, there we go, allergen information. All our cakes are suitable for vegetarians. So, they probably use eggs still. But you might have to please be aware that some cakes with icing characters may contain cocktail sticks. Okay, fair enough. Be careful of that. Don't poke your eye out with the cocktail sticks. But that would be safety. Size, well, we know it's going to be extra large because it's got to fit. It's got to be for all those people, and it's got to be worth £111. Function, well, does it work as a cake? A, is it really attractive? But B, does it taste? I mean, there's no good having a fantastic cake if it doesn't taste very nice, or if it's burnt, or just as dry as anything. And that also links into the materials. I mean, we discussed here, the fact that it's going to be made with a variety of different fillings, and the sponge is going to be chocolate. Well, those are the materials. But different products are going to have different things. So, now you know what a specification is, a list of things a product has to have in order to be successful. Goodbye, Manchester United. I am not going to buy your cake, not at £111. But what I am going to ask you to do is I want you to find an image of a cooking or kitchen utensil to analyse. Now, I've deliberately chosen this because, well, you should have all used some sort of kitchen utensil, and you can find some quite interesting ones online. I mean, look, just searching there for somebody who has got a kind of Moby Dick kind of Indian paddle arrowhead type, I don't know, interest. Those could be there, but I mean, you could take these and think about it. So if I copy that, and it is a little bit of an unusual one, and I'm going to paste it into there, so I am going to paste it into here. Okay, so I'm going to stick it in there. Look at that, perfect size. And then I'm going to think about the aesthetics on this one. So you might start to think about, with the aesthetics, what we're going to write. So what was the part? So the kitchen, the range of kitchen utensils, or just utensils, should follow a I don't know what the theme is there. The whale kind of, I don't know, fantasy? Follow a fantasy theme with particular reference to, I don't know, whales? I don't know. It could be, or it could be nature. We'll put down nature. Okay, so it's that. The range of utensils should follow a fantasy theme with particular reference to nature. They should have a high level of finish because, they need to be really good. And possibly use different colours to achieve an eye-catching effect. So you can see how that is what may have started out. This is maybe what the specification was for this to appear. So you can choose anything. It doesn't have to be a silly item. It can be a variety of things. If you're a bit stuck and think, these are all a bit boring, there is some quite interesting ones. Alessi is quite an interesting one. Oh, no, it's one L and two S's. I always forget that. So yes, Alessi with one L and two S's, not two L's and one S. Alessi is an Italian design house that specialises in utensils and kitchenware. But if you just put in Alessi and maybe not kitchenware, you can get some quite interesting bits. They also do stuff with Philip Stark, not to be confused with Miss Stark as of the films, but there are some quite interesting little bits that they do. So I would really recommend that you have a look at some of their stuff. I've actually got some of them, and they are quite good. Some of them are better than others, but you might have to think about. There's a kettle. Would you have known it was a kettle? Can you write the specification for that one? Bit of humour in there. Let's have a go. So what I'd like you to do is, I will include this. I'm getting rid of the whale spoon. I will include this on the PARS description on Insight, but what I would like you also to do is, yet again, we're using Google Drive. If we go to Google Drive, I've created a new folder called Specification Practice, and I promise you that I have created it, and I am going to show you this now, and it will have the permissions so that you can actually save into it. It has been a bit of a pain, and it has been arguing with me and keeps on changing it. So I'm going to go in here again. Yep, can organize, add and edit. So that should really be okay there and done. If you have a look inside there, you can see I have uploaded this very one. Now if you double click on it, it opens it like that as an image. But if you look at the top here, it's got open with Google Slides. And what's brilliant about this is you don't even have to have PowerPoint. So if you haven't got PowerPoint, this is even better because it'll open it up for you. And once it's finished churning round, you can type into it. So I can type into it. I can paste my whale spoon back into there, and I can then save it again. So you can do File and Save As. So you can do, or you can save as a Google Slides. And you can save it directly into that folder if you like, and then obviously I can see them very, very easily indeed. So it'll do it like that, and you can give it a name. Bob's your uncle, Fanny's your aunt, all sorted out. You might want to just change the name of it, and you just do that up here. There we go. And it's happy. So now if I go back into there, we should be able to see that I have, there we go, Mr. Sutton. So you can see my one is in there for you. So you should be able to do that. Finally, a big thank you. A big thank you to everybody that has done it for the orthographic lesson. Lots of people managed to do those. I am going to get back to you and give you some feedback on all of those, but they are looking great. So thank you there. Chloe, that's looking especially good. Just catches my eye there. Very, very good. All the lines and etc. I wouldn't be surprised if that ends up being a distinction, if not very, very close to it. So it's really good that you're listening to my verbal feedback and you are acting on it. So congratulations to them. Finally, for me, this is our last lesson before the holidays. I know it seems strange that we're going on holiday and we're basically going to have to stay inside anyway, but look on the bright side, you don't have any schoolwork, but I will still be popping into school. I will still be producing stuff for you. I will still be here. So if you do have any questions, then drop me an email and I will see you and speak to you all soon. Take care.